Establishing security. See you soon, Mr. Jensen.
We invite critics and members of the UN to tour our facilities firsthand.
Welcome to the Detroit. Let's get the hell out of here! Get back here! Leave me alone, pig! That's it! Easy, man.
Sorry, but we've diverted all the trams. There are no more coming to this station.
But how am I supposed to get
They tripped me from behind and stripped me of my house.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, but they refused to stick around to witness.
I thought the police overreacted. Yeah. As soon as that one guy came on the block.
Jensen, Sarif had me hack the convention center security logs for you. Sandoval signed out. He isn't there.
Taggart will know where he went.
You really think he'll tell you in the middle of a riot? In front of all the media?
He will if I ask real nice.
Well, if that doesn't work, he also has a dressing room backstage. Seems to me a man like Taggart must keep close track of his employees. Speaking of which, I also backtraced that breach in our own firewall. The one Sarif opened but forgot to tell us about.
The one he was using right before he hired me. Right.
Looks like our boss was being chatty with a private detective named Brent Radford. He lives on Earl's Court. In case you want to get chatty with him too.
Everything seems to be under control in the convention center.
You don't have to get uppity just because I don't agree with you on this.
Human evolution is a fantasy, but that is exactly what I am telling you. As a world...
Where's your sidekick, Taggart? 6 months ago, Sarif Industries was attacked by mercenaries whose objective was to cripple our research. But I've learned the attack was just a smokescreen. Megan Reed's team was kidnapped, and Isaiah Sandoval, your personal aide, was involved.
That is ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for Mr. Jensen's intrusion, and I assure you that these accusations are without basis.
Are they?
This is Sandoval. Why are you calling me here?
There's been a change of plans. Sarif's team must not make it to the hearing.
But that's too soon. If you want me to remove the GPLs, I'll need a full operating suite. Does the facility have one?
That's your man, Taggart. Talking about removing implanted GPL devices so that the people who took Sarif scientists could cover it up.
I see what's going on here. Sarif Industries has received 2 black eyes in the last few days. The first due to the shocking news coming out of Montreal that biotech companies are secretly participating in unethical super soldier experiments. And the second as a result of their violent escalation of today's peaceful protest. David Sarif and his corporate bedfellows are desperate and in imminent danger of losing the regulation vote, so this man has been sent here to attack my reputation.
I'm right here, Taggart. Look at me. I admit, I wouldn't feel bad if your reputation was damaged in front of the press, since you've been doing the same to my colleagues for years, but that's not why I'm here. Sarif scientists are alive, and it's time for the truth to come out.
The truth, Mr. Jensen, is that this recording of yours proves nothing. It could have been made by anyone in the world with a grudge against Humanity Front, and you are our prime suspect.
You're right, it's not enough to get a conviction. But it's enough for a search warrant. That's all I want, Taggart. Why are you standing in the way?
I'm not. I'm trying to protect... Look, Mr. Jensen. My heart goes out to you. Perhaps it's best that you came to me rather than bringing this recording to the police. You needed to be some kind of proof because you're still suffering. You're trying to find someone else to blame for the emotional trauma you experienced when you woke up from that surgery and discovered you were no longer quite human.
The reason I'm obsessed with the past, Taggart, is that there are still 5 people missing and their attackers haven't paid for what they did. Your refusal to help me is getting in the way of justice.
Well, of course, justice is very important to me, naturally. What I question is whether or not you're on the right path to find it. If you could see your situation clearly, you would realize you're being driven by your losses. Your actions are motivated by an attempt to regain a sense of control at my expense. You're turning me into your enemy when I'm not.
I don't have to make you my enemy, Taggart. Your actions speak for themselves. You started the anti-augmentation movement, and now anti-augmentation terrorist groups are making headlines every day. You always say Humanity Front isn't violent. But look outside. We're seeing proof that it is.
The violence is a terrible thing. I do not advocate it, but nor can I deny it exists. I founded Humanity Front to prevent others from suffering the way I suffered after an augmentation addict murdered my wife. I did it to reduce the amount of violence in this world, but you cannot understand such an approach. That's why you falsely claim my people are involved in terrorist acts. You're mistaken and you're lying.
What happened to your wife was tragic. But what's happening to Sarif scientists is going on right now, and you have a chance to do something about it. You have nothing to lose if Sandoval's innocent. And if he isn't, you can preserve your reputation by helping me. Why won't you do that?
Because I just can't believe Isaiah would be guilty of this, but you're right. Whether he's guilty or not, I have to get to the truth. Marjorie would want it that way. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, but I'm going to have to beg your indulgence for a few moments more. If you will all please remain patient, I will return as soon as I can. Thank you. Mr. Jensen, I'll see you backstage.
Any idea what's going on out there?
Apparently it's settling down a little. Police have cleared the streets.
I heard they were pretty aggressive.
Yeah, I heard that too. I'm happy we don't have to go out there.
Amen to that. All right.
Took to the streets in several cities this evening after viewing controversial satellite footage uncovered.
Mr. Jensen, I appreciate you allowing me to deal with this in a more discreet manner.
Save it, Taggart. You've wasted enough of my time as it is. Now where's Sandoval?
He has an apartment he uses when in this city, on Grand River Road. He mentioned he was feeling very run down, so I can only assume he went there.
I see.
He's not an evil man, Mr. Jensen. If he's done what you say, it's only because of his brother, Ezekiel. A man you might know better as Zeke Sanders.
Sanders? The man who attacked Sarif's manufacturing plant?
I knew nothing about it until after it was over, and then I tried. I tried to convince Isaiah not to follow in his footsteps.
Good job.
Mr. Jensen, please. Isaiah has done so much for so many needy people, people suffering from implant rejection. Promise me you will deal with him fairly.
That all depends on Isaiah.
I understand, but please try.
Looks as if the ball is now firmly in the United Nations court. This is Eliza Kassam, reporting to you live.
This is important. Jensen? I almost didn't recognize you. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, what are the chances? Do you remember me? I was a rookie when you still rolled in SWAT.
Nikki. Of course I remember you. How you been? The brass got you on ride control too?
Yeah, I am. Or I was until... Damn it. Look, something big is going down, and I'm kinda freaking out here. You remember that MCBer, Jacob White? You busted him a couple of times.
Yeah, I remember him. Assault and possession. He's still running rackets?
No, I mean, yeah, shit, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter, because he's moved on to bigger things.
Nikki, slow down.
Listen, hear me out. I just got word he has his hands on some real military-grade explosives. The prick's got a fucking bomb, Adam. And you know how much he hates the PD. He's going to hit us while we have our pants down with the riots. You gotta help us out here.
Nikki, I'm kinda busy. If he's got a bomb, just call it in and follow procedure.
What do you think I've been doing? I've been on the horn all night, and my CO already sent a patrol over to Jacob's house. We've got a warrant, so they searched the place, but nothing came up, not even Jacob. Now they're saying my CI is probably full of shit and just fucking with me. Bullshit! Jacob's using the riots as cover, and he's going to hit us, and hit us hard. Adam, I need you to trust me on this. You gotta help me find Jacob.
I'm sorry, Nick, but I'm not a cop anymore.
Jensen, please. I know you traded in your badge for a paycheck, but once a cop, always a cop. Do the right thing here. I need your help. We need your help.
You sure you closed the door?
Someone...
You're dead, man. And run. I'm coming to get you, asshole. Oh! Try me now! Die, you hog bastard! You're dead!
Pritchard, looks like Sandoval's got a secret bunker. I'm gonna flush him out.
Let's hope he's still there.
I heard that. Come out.
Sounds like trouble. What is that?
Bust him up.
Open wide!
Die, you hog bastard! I lost him! I lost him! This is the spot, man.
I don't feel good about this.
If Sandoval doesn't come out of there in a few minutes, I'm going in.
No, you're not. He's on the edge. There's no telling what he'll do.
Better get some backup. Fucking gunshots! Corner! Hit it! I'm going to get you, asshole! Fucking gunshots! Get him!
And this is why I urge every member of my staff, every man and woman dedicated to the true mission of the Humanity Front, to do the same. I say yes. If you're watching this, I beg you, do not allow misplaced anger to destroy everything we have struggled to achieve.
It's over. He knows I can't come back from that.
Everybody knows, Sandoval. You can't hide from what you've done.
What I've done, Mr. Jensen. I spent years patching people back together from augmentation botch jobs and systemic organ rejection brought on by implants. And now, because of Bill's betrayal, I'll never practice medicine again.
You really want to help someone? Tell me where Sarif scientists are.
I wish I could, Mr. Jensen. But my involvement ended right after I failed to remove their GPLs.
You failed?
Turns out, my surgical skills weren't good enough to bypass David Sarif's insurance policy. So for all I know, those little implants are broadcasting right now, on a frequency so low your network specialist wouldn't think to look for it.
You changed the frequencies.
You have your answers, Mr. Jensen. And I've lost all of mine. The courts may think I have much to atone for, but my court will be a higher one.
How about I take that gun with me when I go?
You got everything you came for. Please, just leave.
Believe it or not, I'd rather you didn't kill yourself.
That's because you have no idea what tortures I've endured. The guilt, the shame. I was told the scientists would be used to find a peaceful solution to the augmentation crisis. Instead, I was involved in kidnapping and murder. My life ended that night. It's time for me to go.
Think about it. Are you really in such a hurry to face that higher court of yours?
At least there are no lies before God. Did you see that abominable press conference? William Taggart all but accused me of terrorism. He claimed that all the violence committed in the name of our cause was the result of my influence.
So stay alive long enough to tell him your side of the story.
He already knows it isn't true. I trusted that man. For years I gave him loyal service, and he betrayed me. He sacrificed my freedom and good name to save the reputation of his organization. It's no use fighting him. He'll just spin it again. At least if I die, he'll never be able to use me again.
So that's your plan? Just lay down and die so you can't be used again? That's bullshit. You need to face what's coming. There's a very thin line between martyr and victim, Sandoval. And if you pull the trigger, you won't be remembered as either.
You certainly like taking chances, Mr. Jensen. But your point has merit. Maybe I did give up too easily. Early on, I decided my life's purpose was to help people. But I failed as a doctor. Because by the time I see augmentation patients, it's too late. So I went to Humanity Front. And that wasn't improving anyone either. I was an idiot to think this would turn out differently from everything else I've tried.
I hear what you're saying. You care too much. I know what that's like. Too well. Because I've been there. You want to fix everything right away. You want it so much you start trying too hard. Trust me, if you deal with the smaller, easier stuff first, the big things don't look so big.
I care too much? I try too hard? Your empathy would be touching if it wasn't so condescending. I just told you everything I touch ends in failure. Don't tell me you know what that's like. At first, after the kidnapping, I was numb. And then the pain came, and it's been with me ever since. I look in the mirror and I see a mass murderer. The guilt and the shame have made me impossible to be with. My wife wants to divorce me, start her life over. I've lost her. I've lost everything.
You think you're a failure, but you're not. You're just a man who doesn't understand his own potential yet. You can still channel your regrets into something positive. Be an example. Teach people why violence isn't the answer. You've suffered way too much to let all that experience go to waste.
You think you know more about my suffering than I do? You want me to teach others? Tomorrow morning the news is going to report that Isaiah Sandoval, murderer, killed himself because of what he did. That will be my lesson to the world.
Our facilities firsthand.
Pritchard, get this. The GPLs are still transmitting. Sandoval switched them to a lower frequency.
But they could be broadcasting anywhere in the world. I don't have the type of equipment we'll need to find them.
It's our only lead, Pritchard. You have to do something.
I know. Listen, the riot's still blocking the street entrance. Head back to your apartment and Malik will fly you over. Maybe by the time you get here, I'll have figured out something.
Access granted.
Fuck them cops, man.
Yeah, they can't tell us to get off the streets beyond these blocks of legislation.
Thousands of angry rioters took to the streets in several cities this evening after viewing controversial satellite footage uncovered by Picus.